Mattel, the toy people. They said, we're going to give this children's hospital $49 million. And then they said, well, you know what? We're not going to give you the money. And you would think, well, that's not a good thing, but you can't sue over that. Well, think again. So they're now being sued for it, and I will explain why. Put up Mattel for mask. So this is going to have a few twists and turns. So according to a report by the LA Times, Mattel, the company behind Hot Wheels, Fisher-Price.Barbie, all right, pledged in a 2017 donation pledge to give UCLA $49 million to support its children's hospital. That's notable, made a lot of news, got them a lot of earned media, all of that, right? But now, according to a new lawsuit, Mattel made the decision to, a few short years later, to say no to that pledge, and is now trying to offer the pediatric hospital a few $1 million plus a bunch of Barbie dolls, Hot Wheel cars, and other in-kind donation.
My God.
Okay? So the suit was filed. The suit filed last week on behalf of the Regents of the University of California and the UCLA Foundation, accuses the company of breach of contract for going back on its giving pledge and is seeking the full amount of the original pledge plus damages for alleged financial difficulties stemming from the company's decision to back out of its giving plan. So as a last resort, UCLA Health has taken legal action to compel the company to honor the $49 million pledge. UCLA Health spokesperson Phil Hampton wrote in a statement, quote, litigation is not the university's preferred path. UCLA Health made multiple good faith attempts to resolve this matter through meaningful dialogue, and those efforts were unsuccessful. So Mattel has disputed UCLA's claim it breached anything. Quote, Mattel deeply values its long-standing relationship with UCLA Health, and we are proud that UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital bears our company's name, Mattel spokesperson Catherine Freimark wrote. But the company said that its donation was intended specifically for the construction of a new tower in the children's hospital, and argued that because UCLA unilaterally abandoned its plans for the construction of its new hospital tower, the conditions of the 2017 pledge have not been met. The relationship between Mattel and UCLA began in 1998 when Mattel pledged to donate $25 million to support the construction of a children's hospital, and in exchange, the university agreed to name the new hospital after Mattel. Mattel delivered on the agreed upon funds by 2004, and the company has continued to host an annual fundraiser for the hospital at the Santa Monica Pier, which the filing notes raised over $1 million in 2022. In 2017, Mattel made another big pledge to the hospital, promising to donate $49 million in cash over the next 12 years. In exchange, UCLA agreed to work Mattel's logo into the logo of the signage of the hospital as the filing notes. This was an unprecedented act of corporate branding for a UC facility. The 2017 pledge began with Mattel donating the $2 million it had promised in the first year of the deal. Just 1 year later, however, things started to go sideways. In 2018, Mattel paid just $1 million of the $3 million promised in the pledge agreement, according to the filing. That $1 million payment was the last one Mattel made, the filing states. So the LA Times notes that Mattel chief executive Inan Kraiz informed UCLA that the company board had decided to put a 3-year pause on donations. So this is actionable because it's in writing. Given the company's bad financial position in 2017, there had been more than $1 billion in losses, all right? There's more. But 3 years later, in 2021, when the donations were supposed to resume, Mattel wrote to the agents to say the company planned to donate only $10 million more in total rather than the $46 million it had initially pledged. Of that $10 million, the company also wrote that only $2.5 million would be in the form of cash. The rest would be made up of $5 million of in-kind marketing and $2.5 million in toys. There's more. The LA Times also noted Mattel's decision coincides with a major turnaround since 2021. The company has earned over $1.3 billion in profit per financial documents, and also expected to take $125 million from its share of the Barbie movie sales. The firm has already spent $110 million on stock to buy back and buybacks this year. Mattel's abrupt change, of course, has caused significant financial injury to the Children's Hospital on a number of fronts. The suit alleges, besides losing out on the promised cash, the suit argues that Mattel's decision also has jeopardized the construction of a new tower to accommodate more pediatric health services by making financing the project more difficult, causing the hospital to lose out on potential sponsorship deals with more reliable donors, and damage its fundraising ability writ large by showing few consequences come from failing to follow through on its promises to the institution. The toy company, according to the suit, argued in 2021 that it was not obligated to fulfill most of its obligations because UCLA wasn't holding up its part of the bargain and had not yet made construction plans for a new facility or launched international health initiatives as discussed in the initial pledge agreement. UCLA argues in the suit that those arguments are baseless and that Mattel was simply making excuses to pull out of the deal. While UCLA tried to negotiate with Mattel over the last 2 years with no results, the 24th annual Mattel-sponsored party on the pure fundraiser for UCLA's Children's Hospital went on as planned November 5th, just 4 days before UCLA filed its suit. Okay, now.
Awkward.
I know, right? Really awkward. Okay, so very quickly, here's the premise of law, typically. If you say to someone, I'm going to give you a gift, right? A contribution is typically considered a gift, meaning there is no mutual consideration. This is not a contract. I'm giving you something. If it is a gift, there is no contractual obligation for a gift unless you made certain specific movements, decisions based on anticipation of the gift. Now you can file suit under a doctrine called promissory estoppel, meaning I have now injured myself because I relied on your promise, and because of your promise, we made certain decisions.
Yeah.
And now those decisions have impacted us negatively because you did not adhere to your promise. Once again, still not a contract. That's called promissory estoppel. Now, if UCLA is arguing, well, they did not meet their end of the bargain. Well, now we're back in contract land. Because a contract is a bargain for exchange. So this is no longer a contribution. In other words, no matter how you look at this, Mattel, you're effed. Because if you made a promise and they made decisions based on that promise, well, that's promissory estoppel. If this is not a promise, Mattel, but in fact, it is a contract, well, you would have to prove that they had what's called material breaches of contract, not simply breaches of contract. All right, there we go.
No, exactly. It's got to be in writing, and it's clearly not. They're just pulling stuff out of their butt. I mean, who are you gonna believe? I'm going with the massive corporation that just made hand over fist billions of dollars, the highest grossing movie of the year with Barbie. In part, right? That's not all their money. But over the Children's Hospital, and it's just so ridiculous. Like the only thing I could say is like UCLA should have just been like, okay, look, you're gonna get an M for the first third of the money you could deliver. You're gonna get an A for the next third of the money you deliver. You're gonna get a T, you know what I mean? Like you buy yourself a vowel here. Otherwise, I'm not putting your stupid name on our hospital because you haven't delivered the $49 million. But look, Mattel got what they wanted out of it. They look like a shining, wonderful corporation that's doing good things for people, when in reality, yeah, it's a pledge, and they only gave a fraction of what they had pledged.
Yeah, I mean, they came in with the low. It's going to be interesting how the suit turns out.